we trust government records or church records? Should we put so much trust in? And if we're looking for something, you got to watch out, because confirmation bias can really, that confidence, we found what we were looking for, or so we thought. And so that confirmation bias, or just being excited that we might have broken a brick wall in our family history, and you put so much time and effort into it, and it may not actually be accurate. So just because we have records, we still have to verify if we have the luxury, like we do with the Sicilian records, that there are multiple records. You have church records, and after 1820, you have civil records like this. This is the 1914 Terracini Atti di Matrimonio. Those are the marriage records. And I had mentioned a while ago that because of the video I did with Frank Zappa and some of the gangster videos, seeing that so many were on my tree, that I had tried, and I spent a number of hours trying to get Frank Zappa's family, who were from Pardinico, which is very close to where Mia Famiglia are from, which is Carini, Sicilia. But I tried. I went back into the 1700s and could not get I couldn't connect Frank Zappa's family to my tree. So I get this, and you can see the name is Liborio Zappa. It's not the best penmanship, but it's certainly not the worst. And that's saying something for Terracini. So I saw this, and Agata Parisi, and they are both from Terracini. So we have a 19-year-old and a 23-year-old. So Liborio Zappa and his father is Salvador. So I did not have them on my tree, but I was able to connect them. I had to fill in a lot of Zappa stuff. So as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, ooh, maybe I'll finally get a connection to Frank Zappa's family. So I'm going, and I'm going all the way back, and but they go all the way back. You can see 1790 in Terracini. Did I get further back than that? Yeah, I got even further. Liborio, again, I've mentioned this many, many times. You're named for your nono or your noni, and so Liborio is, in this line, is very much a family name, and it goes way back. This is as far back as I was able to get it. So Onofrio and Liborio are the two common names in this line. So as I was doing this, and somebody was nice enough to index the Terracini church records, and I am indexing the civil records because the church records went up to 1910 or 1911, and so I'm doing after that. So here you can see I've got Liborio Zappa and Agata Parisi. And so as I'm doing this, this was so cool to find. So then I found this couple, married in 1867 in Terracini. Now, Antonina Cucuzza, well, Cucuzza is not a Terracini name. It's very much a Carini name and very connected to my Gargaiano familia. They came in from Mistretta, Messina, after the big earthquake in 1693. And she marries a Vincenzo de Blasi. There are only two people married in Terracini from 1735 to 1915. He is one of them. And that is because he is from Pardinico. So, what's very interesting here is I have his marriage record. Well, let me zoom in on that for you. This is his 1867 marriage record. And you can see right here, he is from Pardinico, not Terracini. And this is what got me. I'll try to blow that up a little bit more. These are his parents, Antonino and Maria Zappa. Pardinico Zappa. Now Zappa, not a very common name in Pardinico. So I have a Pardinico connection with, so now I've got Maria Zappa, who is from Pardinico. And I'm thinking, oh, I am finally going to connect Frank Zappa, and the children of this marriage are going to be second to third cousins to me. So not only will he be on my tree, but might be fairly closely related. What I have to do is you got to verify this. You have to be able to verify it. So I get into the Terracini records, which I'm glad to do because they're so much better than Terracini. So I get the parents' marriage record, and it's 1842. Let me zoom in on there for you. Actually, this is his baptism record. I got his baptism record in Pardonico, and you can see Vincenzo de Blasi. I've got, and the father's name there, Antonino de Blasi. So far, so good. And I get the mother. It's Maria, but it's Grappo. No, something's going on with the scribe here. I found my Frank Zappa connection, and I'm not going. So I see. Oh, this. Okay, I've got to check this out. That does not look like Zappa. Nope. I mean, I can see they screw around, sometimes with the O and the A, but so I've got to get more information. So this is the baptism record. So I've got to find Antonino de Blasi and Maria's marriage record, which is most likely in Terracini, most likely in Pardonico. So I do find it, and this is it right here. So, whoa, I think I blew it up a little too much. So this is the October 1842 Pardonico marriage record, and you can see Antonino de Blasi. I think he was an important guy. That's what the MAG is. I don't remember the exact pronunciation, so I don't want to make it worse. Antonino de Blasi, he's from Pardonico. You can, let me see, maybe go a little bit bigger there. Yeah, so Antonino de Blasi, Pardonico. It gives his parents' name, Vincenzo. We're seeing, your name for your noni. And Rosa Leto. And there's the wife, Maria Grappo. I'll blow that up a little. Yeah, so her father's name is Michael and Padolino, Maria Anna Padolino. It's Grappo. Not a common name. Nothing I've even heard before. Is it interchangeable with Zappa? Like Giammanco and Giambanco? No. Nope. It turns out that it is just an error on the Terracini records. So to go back, it says going back to the Terracini record, it's not actually Zappa. They made a mistake. So I put on probably 200 names connected with Zappa. I have every single Zappa in the church records from 1735 all the way to 1914. I have every single Zappa on my tree now. So let's see. In Terracini, married in Terracini, I have every single one on my tree. Probably added 200 names. Not all of them were Zappa, but they were married to a Zappa. And then I found out it was, in fact, an error by the church scribe, not Zappa, Grappa, or Groppo. So, another example. Now, I was really, really convinced when I found that I had my connection to Frank Zappa. I still may be able to make that connection, but I'm not going to do it here. So I do have some Zappa on the tree that I could not get, too far back on. They may still connect. We'll see. But this is another reason why we've got to go through. We can't just take at face value. We should, but we can't. And we're going to run into these things. And we can't allow some confirmation bias or just the fact that we worked on this for hours and hours and hours. We finally found what probably is going to be the key. But until we can verify it, we shouldn't take it as gospel truth. But until we can actually verify it, we've got to go through, we've got to get other records. Remember, this is just a marriage record. I went to the baptism record, it didn't, and then I went to the parents' marriage record, and I also went to some death records, and they all said the same thing. They all said Grappo. This is the only one where it says Zappa. So that's why, very disappointing, but you got to make sure that you do have as many records and be able to verify that the information on there is actually correct, because you can get really disappointed, or you could put bad information. As I mentioned in other videos, other people will see it on your tree and they will copy bad information. So make sure that you verify the information. So that's it for this particular video, and I hope very soon, I will be able to post a video where I can say, yes, I finally connected Frank Zappa to my family.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.